anaphylactic shock. Oh my. So, Lisa Joe, your essential oil girl, how you doing? I am talking to people that have Hashimoto's. I'm assuming since you're here, you recently been diagnosed and just curious about some of the stuff. Okay. I'm reading actually different posts off of a Facebook group that I'm in that talks about Hashimoto's and giving my 2 cents on videos, and I'm just sharing them because I do have answers for a lot of this. Now, I am not a doctor, I never claimed to be. I am just a Hashimoto person from 37, 38 years of dealing with this disease, and I've learned a few things. So, talking to my newbie people, okay? Okay, this girl wrote, I don't know how you all have been dealing with this. Oh, see, so this is, again, the newly diagnosed people are the most shocked by what starts to be a noticeable connection between what's going on with them and a title now of having Hashimoto's. So she's recently, obviously, been diagnosed. I had anaphylactic shock in February that took me to the ER with closed airways. Fast forward the diagnosis of Hashimoto's. Okay. Now, Hashimoto's does not generally cause anaphylactic shock, so don't worry. Okay? Don't panic. Let's keep reading. I feel lucky to have a fast diagnosis. I'm waiting on an ultrasound of my thyroid and insurance. They're not going to find anything. They might find some nodules or something. They're not going to find anything that has anything to do with Hashimoto's. Okay, just my 2 cents. Let's see. Had the hives. Weight is painful. I continue to have hives, still nightly and a couple times in the morning. I'm so tired. And I've changed my food to only eating autoimmune friendly foods to help with inflammation. Any thoughts on what I need to do different? Resources, anything. I feel so hopeless. Y'all. Okay. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease is caused by our guts. Okay? Anytime, 96.3% of the time when people have a anaphylactic shock reaction to something, I'm not talking bee stings or whatever else. I'm talking about just random, it is because of our guts. So what happened to me, because I have lived this, and it's been, again, I have had Hashimoto's for 37 years, so I speak from experience. Okay? So, years ago, gosh, it's been 20 years if it's been a minute, maybe even longer. We were living in, so maybe it might have been 25 years ago. I started breaking out in hives badly. And I had no idea what was causing the hives. I would go to the doctor didn't know. They don't know. They didn't know. They couldn't help me. They were not very helpful. And it went on for months. The weird thing was that I would only have these hive episodes once a week. Okay? Once a week. It was pretty much like, okay, that's weird. We went on a cruise. It was a 7-day cruise, right? Cruise food, right? So the first three days, nothing. And then the fourth day, hives. So long story short, even though I like to tell a long story, it ended up being I finally made the connection, because nobody can do it for you. You've got to figure out what the heck is going on with yourself. You cannot go to a doctor and expect him to know what the heck you're doing. You have got to figure out what you're doing. You've got to make that connection. So okay, get off the soapbox. Okay, so I started paying attention, and what it turned out to be was, y'all, this is so weird. Um, it turned out to be steak. Okay, I'm a beef eater. I'm a beef eater girl. I'm a carnivore. And I would buy, back in the day, back in the 1800s, they would have like sirloin steak, which is one of my favorites. And they would have it on sale for like, back in the day, it would be like $1.99 a pound. Whenever it went on sale, I would buy like, 5 or 6 steaks, put them in my deep freezer, and then cook them once a week. I would pull me out a steak, or maybe, you know what I mean, about then. And because it was my treat, right? And turned out it was this steak. And I was like, okay, wait. So I was on a cruise, right? So the first 3 days on the cruise, the meat was fresh. Because I ate beef. Fourth day, there's a 99.9% chance that meat came out of a freezer. And boom, that's the day that I reacted, because I had beef every day. Right? And I think by the time I got on the cruise, I knew, but it didn't cross I didn't think about the cruise freezer. So that was my experience. Now, with Doterra, which is the my thing that I have, one of my tools that I use for keeping my gut healthy, because Hashimoto's is all about your gut. Surprise! They have products now that I can pretty much eat whatever, and I don't have that reaction as long as I eat in moderation. Like gluten, gluten would just kill me. It would just cause my muscles to do. And now I can pretty much eat gluten as long as I take this particular supplement, which is amazing. I love it. And but emergency, if you are the person that is breaking out in hives and you need a quick fix, what I learned was they would put me on Benadryl. Y'all, Benadryl's not good to be taken all the time. But luckily mine it wasn't an everyday thing. This particular girl, there's a 90% chance that she's eating something every day. Even though it's supposed to be autoimmune good food, she's got a food that she's reacting to. It's a particular food. I don't know if she'll figure it out on her own. I commented on there and gave her some clues of what to do. But you can't help people that won't help themselves, because everybody thinks the doctor's going to fix it for them, which they're not. You got to figure it out. So anywho, moving on. What I ended up doing in that, because this was all before I was introduced to Doterra essential oils, okay? So this was all before I knew about that. So what I ended up, the doctors finally, I think it was the emergency room doctor, finally figured out the combination to work was take Benadryl, right, and Pepcid AC. Pepcid AC, the over-the-counter Pepcid AC. And that would, the combination of those two things would, and I would take it as directed. I think you could take it like maybe every 4, I don't remember now. It's been years. I haven't taken any over-the-counter medicine since I've been doing Doterra in, I don't know, 5 years. So I think it was whatever it said on the box, I did it until the hives went away. But so the trick is to do Benadryl and Pepcid AC, because the Pepcid AC, remember, it's our guts. The Pepcid AC does something, it coats your stomach or something, which allows the Benadryl to actually work. So if you're having the hive situation, or if you're having anaphylactic shock, get your rear end to the hospital, okay? However, if you're just breaking out in hives, then this, and she may, if she if she starts taking this, it may, until she gets her gut in order. I don't know. I feel so sorry for her, because mine went on for, it was months before I figured it out. But hers apparently is every day. So she's got her gut really mad at her right now. So pray for her, give a little prayer for her that she figures this stuff out. But meantime, if you're breaking out in hives and you have Hashimoto's, it's your gut, okay? And obviously, if you have anaphylactic shock, dear God, just get your butt to the hospital, because you don't mess around with not being able to breathe. I'm just saying. That would be like horrible. I can't even, well, I can't imagine. Anyway, that's all I got. That's all. I just wanted to share this particular one, because I was like, ooh, I've been there. I didn't do the anaphylactic shock, but I felt like it. I felt very, it got really bad at one time. Whenever you have to go to the hospital for something like that, it's you. Even if I probably wasn't closing up, psychologically, my mind was telling me I'm fixing to die. So, and I didn't. I'm fine. Okay, that's all I got. Welcome to Hashimoto's. I do have a download. Just click on the link below. It'll take you, whatever. But I have information to share if you'd like to know more. And if you can't figure that out, just message me below and we'll figure out how to connect that way. Because I got some really good Doterra stuff that you can use, and other things. I got a really good doctor that's working with me with Hashimoto's, and I would be happy to share that information too. So, all right, peeps. Love you. Have a good night. And don't worry. We got this. It'll be all right. Got it. All right. We will talk soon. Okay.